The moment my brother dropped his fork, I knew he'd already done something he couldn't take back. It wasn't loud, just metal hitting tile, but it didn't sound like an accident. It sounded like something slipping, like control. We were just sitting there, dinner like always, same table, same plates, same stupid routine. My mom was talking about something I wasn't listening to. Derek had been talking more than usual, fast, too fast, like he needed to fill space. And my dad wasn't saying anything. He just sat there, eating slow, watching. Then he stopped, set his fork down, looked at me. "Clara," he said, calm, too calm. "You still renting that storage unit out in Dublin?" My chest tightened before I could even think. No one was supposed to know about that. I didn't tell them. I didn't tell anyone. And then clang. Derek's fork hit the floor. I turned. He didn't move to pick it up, just stared straight ahead, jaw tight, like he forgot how to react. My mom laughed, quick, nervous. "Storage unit," she said. "Since when do you have a storage unit?" I didn't answer her. I kept my eyes on Derek. He looked at me, forced something like a smile. "Probably just old boxes," he said. Right, I swear. If you've ever seen someone lie while they're already caught, you'd recognize that look. I leaned back a little. "Right," I said, but I didn't mean it. My dad didn't look at me anymore. He was watching Derek now, quiet, waiting. And that's when it clicked. This wasn't a random question. It was a trigger. My name is Clara Hayes, 32 years old, and sitting there, watching my brother not pick up that fork, I knew whatever was in that storage unit. He'd already tried to get it. No one picked up the fork. It just stayed there on the floor like we were all pretending it wasn't real. My mom cleared her throat. "Clara, since when do you have a storage unit?" "I've had it," I said, "for a while." Derek leaned back, arms crossed now. "Too casual." "What? Like old furniture papers?" "Why keep it? I didn't say what's in it." He shrugged. "I'm just saying. It sounds like junk." My dad finally spoke again. Same calm voice. "It's not junk." Derek's jaw tightened. "You've been there?" "No," my dad said, "but someone tried to get in yesterday." Silence dropped hard. My mom blinked. "What do you mean tried?" "The facility called me," he said. "Someone used a family code." I felt it in my stomach before I even processed it. "I never gave that code to anyone," I said. Derek let out a short laugh. "Codes get reused. People guess things." My dad didn't look at him right away. Just let that sit. Then, "Not that code." Derek's fingers curled against the table. I watched him. He knew. He absolutely knew. "I don't know what you're implying," he said. "I'm not implying anything," my dad replied. "I'm stating a fact." I leaned forward. Slow. "Whoever tried," I said, "knew exactly what they were looking for." Derek shook his head. "Too fast." "You're making it sound like it's something important." "It is," my dad said. That was the first time my mom stopped pretending this was normal. "What's in that unit?" she asked. My dad didn't answer her. He looked straight at Derek and said, "Records." "Records," my mom said. Of what? My dad didn't answer right away. He took his time, like he wanted us to hear it properly. "Your grandfather's files," he said. "Copies. Not the originals." Derek frowned. "Then what's the point? Probate's done. Everything's already been handled. The originals are with the attorney," my dad said, "where they should be." That landed different. I felt something click into place. Not confusion, more like something finally making sense. "Then, what's in the unit?" I said. "Backup records," he said. "Statements, transfer history, notes your grandfather kept, and a letter explaining how he structured everything." Derek leaned forward. "We already have the operating agreement. I manage the properties. You approved that." "I approved you managing them," my dad said. "That's all." "That's the same thing." No, he said. It isn't. I spoke before I could stop myself. Managing means you run it, not that you own it. Derek looked at me. Sharp. Since when do you understand any of this? I don't need to understand everything, I said. Just enough to know when something doesn't match. My dad nodded once. Your grandfather split it, he said. Control and ownership aren't the same. They were never meant to be. Derek's voice dropped. That's not what the paperwork says. My dad met his eyes. That depends which paperwork you've been using. I watched Derek then. Not confusion. Recognition. Like he'd just realized there was a version of the truth he didn't have. My mom looked between us. Lost. So, Derek doesn't actually own it. No one answered her. I leaned back slightly, still watching him. Whatever's in that unit, I said. It's the part you couldn't change. Derek didn't argue. He just sat there. And for the first time, he looked like he'd run out of room. I didn't plan to bring it up. It just slipped out. 7 months ago, I said, still looking at Derek. You asked me to sign something. He went still. My mom frowned. Sign what refinancing paperwork? Derek said quickly. It was routine. It wasn't. I said. He looked at me, sharper now. You didn't even read it. I did, I said. That's why I didn't sign. That shifted the room. Derek let out a breath. We needed it done fast. That's all. No. I said. The numbers didn't match. My mom leaned forward. What numbers? I kept my eyes on. Derek. The ownership percentages, I said. They were different from what Grandpa had explained. And there was a new clause. Gave more control to the managing member. Derek shook his head. You're misreading it. I don't need to understand every word. I said, just enough to know when something's off. My dad said nothing. Just watched. I brought it to him. I added, that was the first time Derek actually reacted. You what I didn't argue. I said. I didn't make a scene. I just asked him to look at it. My dad spoke, calm. She asked me to review the language. Derek looked between us. And you didn't say anything to me? No, my dad said. My mom's voice dropped. You both knew. I leaned forward slightly. We wanted to see what would happen next. My mom shook her head. You let this keep going. My dad finally answered. I was waiting, he said. Derek stared at him, waiting for what my dad didn't look away. For you to stop. Derek pushed his chair back just a little. Not standing, just creating space. You both knew, he said. And you said nothing. My dad didn't raise his voice. I was watching. That's the same thing. No, he said. It isn't. My mom looked at him, confused. Thomas, that's your son. I know, he said. That's why I didn't accuse him without something solid? Derek scoffed. Accuse me of what you're acting like I did something illegal. My dad didn't blink. I'm acting like I've seen what happens when families argue over property without proof. The room went quiet. He kept his voice steady. People remember things differently. Papers get rewritten in conversation. I wasn't going to rely on what anyone said. Derek shook his head. So, you just let this play out. My dad looked at him then, not angry. Just tired. I was hoping you'd stop, he said. That landed harder than anything else. Derek didn't answer right away. My mom's voice came out soft. You could have stepped in. My dad nodded once, and then it would have turned into a fight about opinions. He looked back at Derek. But this isn't opinion anymore, he said. This is record. Derek's jaw tightened. He didn't argue. He just sat there, breathing heavier, like something inside him was finally catching up. Derek let out a laugh, but it didn't hold. You both think you're smarter than me, he said. That's what this is. No, I said. I think you thought no one was checking. His eyes snapped to me. You weren't here. I was here enough, I said. He pushed his chair back harder this time, then stopped himself from standing. You left, he said. You built your own life. I stayed. I handled everything. I didn't ask you to. I said, that doesn't matter. He shot back. When the roof leaked, I fixed it. When tenants called at midnight, I answered. When Mom needed help, I was the one driving her. My mom flinched a little. Derek leaned forward, voice lower. You think that's nothing, he said. You think I didn't earn something my dad spoke evenly. You were compensated. Not enough, Derek said. That was it. The real thing underneath everything else. I felt the shift, not just anger. Wait. How much, I said. He hesitated. $410,000. My mom covered her mouth, from where Derek didn't look at her. A deal, he said. Commercial property. It fell through. The lender called it in. My dad nodded once. So you started moving money. I adjusted cash flow. Derek said, short term. I shook my head. You changed how distributions were handled. I kept it stable, he said. That money was coming back. My dad leaned forward slightly. That's not stability, he said. That's risk you didn't have the right to take. Derek's eyes sharpened again. I carried this family, he said. I'm the one who stayed. The room went quiet. I looked at him. That doesn't make it yours. I didn't say anything else. I just set my phone down and hit play. Derek went still before the screen even lit up. The footage was from the storage facility. Fixed camera. Front of the unit. Keypad in view. Then him. Walking up. Punching in the code. Stopping. Looking around. Trying again. My mom's voice came out quiet. Derek. He didn't turn. It's not what it looks like. He said. It's exactly what it looks like. I said. You trying to get into something that isn't yours. I had access. He said. I run everything. My dad answered, calm. You were given access to manage, not to take. Derek shook his head. I needed the files. That's all. You could have asked. I said. I didn't need to. I let the clip finish. Him stepping back, checking the door. One more attempt, then nothing. My dad spoke again. Facility requires keypad entry. Every attempt is logged. I requested the record after they called. Derek's eyes flicked to him. They called you. I'm listed as a contact, my dad said. Derek exhaled hard. You're turning this into something bigger than it is. No, I said. You already did that. The room went quiet again. He looked at me differently now. Not defensive. Calculating. Like he was trying to measure how much damage had already been done. I didn't look away. And that's when he knew. This wasn't just about getting into a storage unit anymore. Derek leaned back slowly, not relaxed, just buying time. Then he looked at me. What do you want? He said, not angry anymore, not loud, just careful. I didn't answer right away. I let it sit, let him feel it. My mom shifted in her seat. Clara, it's simple. I said. I kept my voice even. Everything you moved goes back, I said. Every transfer, every adjustment. Derek's eyes narrowed. That's not how this works. It is now. My dad didn't say a word. Derek looked at him anyway. You're just going to let her run this. My dad didn't even turn his head. I'm not letting her, he said. I'm not stopping her. That hit harder than anything else. Derek swallowed, then looked back at me. You don't understand what you're asking, he said. There are timelines, contracts, people involved. I know. I said, you have 45 days. He blinked. 45. To step down. I said. As managing member, full control goes back to the original structure. My mom shook her head. Clara, that's your brother. I didn't look at her. He already made his choice. I said. Derek's voice dropped again. And if I don't agree, I leaned forward just enough. Then we stop handling this at this table. Silence. No one moved. Derek stared at me like he was trying to find a version of me that would back down. There wasn't one, and he knew it. Derek stared at the papers for a long time. Then he picked up the pen. No speech, no argument, just a slow breath. He signed. My mom let out a quiet sound, like relief didn't know where to go. My dad didn't react. I didn't either. I watched him finish his name, steady all the way through. When he was done, he slid the papers back. "That's it," he said. "Almost." I said. I reached into my bag and took out an envelope. Thick, sealed. Set it in front of him. He looked at it, then at me. "What is this?" "Open it." He hesitated, then tore it open. Documents slid out. More than he expected. His eyes moved fast at first, then slower. Then he stopped. "This isn't. It is," I said. My dad spoke quietly. "A reconstruction." Derek looked up. "You went through all of it." "Everything tied to the accounts you controlled," I said. "Dates, transfers, changes in distribution, side by side with the original structure." He flipped through the pages again. "This stays here." He said, "We're done." I signed. I shook my head. "It was prepared before tonight," I said. "And sent this morning." His face changed. "To who?" I didn't hesitate. "Your wife. The lender tied to your last deal, and your partner on that property." My mom whispered his name. Derek stood so fast his chair scraped back. "You said this was handled." "It is," I said. "You're going to ruin everything." I met his eyes. "No," I said. "I'm just not standing in front of it anymore." He didn't speak after that. He just stood there, holding the papers, like he finally understood this wasn't the end of it. It was the beginning. No one followed me when I stood up. Not my mom, not my dad, and not Derek. I gathered the papers, the envelope, then my keys. For a second, I just held the small one, the storage unit key, cold in my hand, lighter than it should have been. Behind me, Derek spoke. "You didn't have to do that. I didn't turn." "I did," I said. "That report. You could have kept it here. I kept it quiet long enough." Silence stretched. Then, quieter. "You think this fixes anything?" I shook my head. "No," I said. "It just means we stop pretending it was fine." I heard him shift, like he was trying to find something left to hold on to. There wasn't much. I started toward the door. My dad's voice came from behind me. "You did what I couldn't." I paused. "No," I said. "You gave him a chance." I ended it. I stepped outside. Didn't look back. The air felt different out there. Not better. Just clearer. I sat in my car with the key still in my hand. For a moment. I thought I'd feel something bigger. Relief. Victory. Anything. But it wasn't that. It was quieter. Like something had finally stopped. Not everything. Just enough.